Welcome to our channel. Today we bring you the list of 10 books recommended by Elon Musk. Somehow Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, Tesla, and other bigger-than-life technology firms, seems to find time to learn as well. Musk has said that it is essential for his success to read various books, from epic works of fantasy, such as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, to complex how-to guides to constructing rockets. We looked at Musk's past interviews and social media history of developing this list of 10 books the billionaire entrepreneur thinks everyone should read. Before we continue, press the subscribe button and press the bell icon for regular updates. Number 10 is 0 to 1. Notes on Startups, or How to Build the Future by Peter Thiel. When Musk managed the X.com payments business back in the early 2000s, he was in direct competition with PayPal, co-founded by Peter Thiel, a man who is now a billionaire investor. So Musk naturally supported it when Thiel came out with his book on startup theory. Several breakthrough companies have been built by Peter Thiel, and 0 to 1 shows how, he says. The book is full of combative observations from Thiel, such as that the fascination with disruption in Silicon Valley is completely misguided. Number 9 is Einstein by Walter Isaacson. Musk's first college degree was a BS in physics, and all of his 3 companies, SpaceX, Tesla, and SolarCity, rely on a deep and continuous knowledge of physics and chemistry. Einstein developed our modern understanding of the world, so it is only natural that Musk would be interested in the life and work of this man. It is a valuable advantage for a rational citizenry to understand the methodology of science. What science tells us is the connection between factual facts and general hypotheses, something well demonstrated in Einstein's life. Furthermore, an appreciation of science's glories is a joyous hallmark of a healthy culture. It allows us to contact the childlike desire to wonder about stuff like dropping apples and elevators that define Einstein. Number 8 is the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. Apart from The Lord of the Rings, Isaac Asimov's Foundation series formed Musk's early interest in science fiction and fantasy. The books concentrate on the collapse of a fictitious interstellar empire, which, through the Milky Way, it consists of millions of human-settled worlds. The stories may have an immense impact on the career history of Musk. In a 2013 interview with The Guardian, here's what he said about the series. The lessons of history would suggest that cultures pass in cycles. The Babylonians, the Sumerians, followed by the Romans, China, and the Egyptians can be traced back. Right now, we're obviously in a very upward cycle, and hopefully that's still the case. There may be any series of accidents that cause the level of technology to decrease. If humanity has been able to extend life beyond Earth, this is the first time in 4.5 billion years. It seems like we would be wise to act while the window is open and not rely on the fact that it will be available for a long time. Number 7 is Our Final Invention by James Barrett. Our Final Invention provides more warnings about the dangers of artificial intelligence. In a 2014 tweet, Musk called the book a worthy read. Barrett takes a close look at AI's potential future, assessing its benefits and drawbacks. On his website, Barrett says the book is at least partly about the catastrophic downside of AI, one you'll never hear about from Google, Apple, IBM, and DARPA, the U.S. Department of Defense's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Musk's agreement of AI has a target and humanity happens to be in the way. AI doesn't have to be harmful to destroy humanity. It could, of course, kill civilization without even thinking about it, without any remorse, as he said in a documentary on artificial intelligence. Number 6 is Howard Hughes by Donald L. Bartlett and James B. Steele. Hughes lived a life that was very sad and lonely. Hughes never reached the degree of technological success that he wanted, despite his brilliance as an inventor and businessman. He's remembered today more for his biggest disappointment, the spruce goose, than for his accomplishments. I firmly believe that Howard Hughes is seen by Tesla as a role model to prevent rather than imitate. Although Hughes's mind was capable of absorbing complex technological information, there was no room for human beings. Years later, he could remember the angle of the windshield in a plane he helped build to the quarter inch, but he had forgotten the name of the engineer who worked with him for several months side by side. He was never one of the boys from childhood onwards, never able to share a joke or appreciate the camaraderie of youth or adult friendship. He never looked for human companionship and did not seem to need it. Number 5 is Ignition: Informal History of Liquid Rocket Propellants by John D. Clark. This insider's account of rocketry's early years captures the excitement of technology research and development beyond the sphere of computer science. Although we are used to thinking of technical advancements in terms of Moore's law, these engineers have gone from launching metal tubes small enough to carry in your hand to propelling a 2-ton metal capsule carrying 3 humans to the moon in a few short years. Musk sees himself as keeping this tradition with his SpaceX company. Note, initially this out-of-print book was printed on demand and is very rare now. However, there is a PDF version that is available online. We were in a new and exciting area. There were endless possibilities and the world was waiting for our oyster to open up. We recognized that we didn't have the solutions to the problems before us, but we were highly sure in our ability to find them in a hurry, and set out to look for the only word I've never seen before or since with gusto for it. Number 4 is Structures, or Why Things Don't Fall, by J.E. Gordon. He came from a coding background when Musk began SpaceX, but he took it upon himself to learn rocket science basics. Structures, or Why Things Do Not Fall, a famous take on structural engineering by J.E., was one of the books that helped him. It is good if you want a structural design primer, Musk said in an interview with KCRW, a radio station in Southern California. Musk was intimately acquainted with SpaceX Falcon Heavy rockets planning and construction because of his interest in rocket mechanics. He has served as both SpaceX's chief designer and CEO. Musk said that it was not because I wanted to be the chief engineer or chief designer that I ended up being the chief engineer or chief designer during a 2017 talk about how he wants to colonize Mars. It was because I couldn't hire anyone. Nobody out of goodwill joined, Musk said. Musk has consistently described Benjamin Franklin, one of America's founding fathers and an accomplished inventor, as one of his idols. In his infamous kite experiment, which led to the lightning bolt's invention, Franklin was the first to show that lightning is electricity. Inventing bifocals is also credited to him. You can see how he was an inventor in glasses with 2 separate optical lenses, Musk said in an interview with Foundation, a forum for nonprofits focused on climate change issues. He was an entrepreneur. From nothing, he began. He was simply a runaway child. Number 3 is Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark. It's that Musk is exploring the future of artificial intelligence if you're detecting a trend among the books on this list. MIT professor Max Tegmark writes in Life 3.0 on keeping artificial intelligence beneficial to human life and ensuring that technological innovation stays consistent with humanity's future aspirations. One of the few books that Musk suggests dealing with AI's possibility as a power, rather than evil, for good. Merchants of Doubt by Naomi Oreskes and Eric M. Conway. Musk strongly believes that in the setting of government policy, science should play a central role. This book describes how many scientists funded by companies have steadily made money by sowing doubts about actual scientific legitimacy in the public mind. To challenge empirical evidence, Fred Singer, Fred Seitz, and a handful of other scientists joined forces with think tanks and private firms on various contemporary issues, case after case. In the early years, much of the cash for this program came from the tobacco industry. It came later from foundations, think tanks, and the fossil fuel industry. The correlation between smoking and cancer remained unproven, they said. They insisted that scientists misunderstood the threats and limitations of SDI. They claimed that volcanoes were triggering acid rain, and so was the ozone hole. They argued that the Department of Environmental Protection had rigged secondhand smoke-related research. They rejected the fact of global warming most recently over almost 2 decades and against the face of mounting points. Number 1, is Superintelligence: Paths, Dangers, Strategies by Nick Bostrom. Musk has a bird's eye view of the advancement of technology, including his leadership positions at SpaceX, Solar City, and Tesla. All this isn't good news. He tweeted, "We need to be super careful with AI, since it's potentially more dangerous than nukes." To find out why, he says it's worth reading Nick Bostrom's Superintelligence, a book that makes the audacious inquiry into what might happen if computational intelligence exceeded human intelligence. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you have enjoyed it. Comment down below the book which you will prefer to read.